I think it's time. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the second annual Ballorca graduation ceremony. The beginning part of the ceremony is pre-recorded.
Unmute yourself, Stuart.
Okay. Am I unmuted now, Megan? I can't see myself anymore. All right. I've lost.
You're good, Stuart. Sorry about that. You're good.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the first part of the ceremony is pre-recorded, so we'll enjoy the pre-recording. Please feel free to continue commenting in the chat, so live commenting as it goes, and then we will have a brief live portion where we will confer the degrees, and all right, Megan, make it happen.
Please welcome Dr. Tabitha Delangelo, Program Coordinator for TCNJ Bangkok.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the commencement for Off-Site Global Programs at the College of New Jersey. We just want to thank you and all of your family and friends for supporting you in this second summer of online learning. We know you've worked hard, and we hope that you're proud of yourself because we are really proud of you. We're so excited to welcome you to this virtual commencement, and we hope that you will enjoy the next hour of your life and celebrate with us and with all of your newfound academic siblings. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
And now, Dr. Suzanne McCotter, Dean of the TCNJ School of Education.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy to welcome you to the ranks of our alumni, and I hope that I can meet with you someday soon, maybe not in New Jersey, maybe in one of your locations. I want to congratulate you on finishing this summer and the entire program that you've done here through our offsite graduate programs. This summer, we had another banner year. We filled 521 class seats through your programs, which is amazing for us, and it took a lot of work by everyone behind the scenes. You know how much work your professors did in getting ready and conducting excellent classes. What you don't know is the amount of work that went in behind the scenes from people like Elizabeth Sims Pottle and Megan Gordon, Stuart Carroll, Tabitha Delangelo, and Dr. Wu in getting everything ready for this year. Thank you so much to all of those staff who participated in that. I really want to praise several of the aspects that go into making this program so special. There's a lot of creativity that goes into it this year more than ever, and trying to make sure that we were doing the best possible job in preparing this kind of program for you. There's a lot of collaboration among you and your classmates, but also among the faculty who are putting together this program. And finally, and this is a word we've all become much more familiar with than we were a year and a half ago, the resilience that we've all seen in trying to persevere through all of the things that we were going through. So congratulations again. I'm very proud to call you alumni of TCNJ and hope that we all get to meet in person very soon.
Next, we have a musical interlude performed by Dr. Ray Bucutti.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ray Bucutti, and it was a pleasure to teach EDAD 540 School Finance in the 2021 TCNJ OSGP Summer Session 1. I had a marvelous group of students to work with this summer. Congratulations to my students and all the students that are graduating. When we were in Mallorca, I enjoyed performing a musical selection at graduation and dedicating that performance to the graduates. While our Zoom graduation is not conducive for a live music performance, please accept this pre-recording. I am performing flute on the composition Triste by Jobim, and I'm fortunate to be accompanied by a good friend and fabulous musician by the name of Bob Emmons, who is performing the keyboard part, bass part, and percussion parts to make the two of us sound like a quartet. I hope you enjoy the performance, and congratulations to all of our graduates.
Presenting our keynote address is Dr. Alan Amstis.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our graduates, certificate completers, students, friends, family, and faculty. Here we are at our second Ballorca graduation gathering, our second virtual celebration of student achievement. I hope it's our last. I wonder how many of you have maybe never taken an actual class in either Mallorca or Bangkok. I wonder how many of you have yet to experience the highly concentrated, supercharged educational boot camp experience of our 7-hour face-to-face, real-time, off-site global program classes. I suppose taking classes at 10 p.m. in your pajamas is convenient, but it's also true that there were no Friday afternoon massages in the hallways of NIST. There were no date and bacon pizzas washed down with Spanish cava and sangria. There were no weekend trips to the floating market for coconut pancakes. There was no spicy street food that costs less than a US dollar. There were no ensaimada along the Passage de Born. And no 2-hour foot massages at Cha Cha Spa on Friday afternoon while you wait for your laundry. As I say that, I know it sounds a little absurd, but the intensity of all being together in the same space for deep classwork and in the same city together for fun was always part of the charm. And yet this year, as in last year, an odd kind of intimacy has emerged from our 12 Zoom hours of classes. Somehow we all managed to transcend the little postage stamp-sized images that we see on our gallery view screens to bring a kind of intensity and intimacy to our long-distance work. It's like we all turned up the volume on our personalities so that our voices, both literal and metaphoric, could be heard. We doubled down, or doubled up rather, on our energy to compensate for the techno distance. And as I learned all too often, we all got to see what we look like when we are laughing, thinking, smiling, worrying, responding, and eating. Not sure how happy I was with that last one. I didn't like seeing the funny face I make when I sip iced coffee through a very long straw. But we made it work. Maybe I got lucky. I really don't recall a time when I felt so connected to a group of students. Maybe the 14 edu strugglers in my class were just that dynamic and that engaged. Maybe we all brought our best and yet our most exhausted selves to the screen this summer. My students and I, and all of you, are teachers, and one thing teachers know how to do is make the best of a tough situation. We are resourceful, we are resilient, and even if we don't always know it and feel it, we are creative, especially at making the kind of connections that interactive academic work demands of us. So here we are at our 2021 commencement, which is an odd word for something that feels like it is actually an ending. We are ending this summer program. We are ending the certificate requirements. We are ending the degree demands. And yet we are also beginning the next phases of your careers and your lives as next-level teachers. One of my mentors, Dr. Marilyn Cochran-Smith, whom many of you may have heard about in your research and inquiry classes, once shared the following sentiment with me at a similar graduation event. She said, "I remind myself that although teaching isn't always such a good way to make a living, it's a very good way to make a life. To me," she said, "this is the greatest challenge of being a teacher in the 21st century. How to be a teacher who is willing and able to heal, help, and love at the same time that he or she responds to demands to raise test scores, produce skilled workers, prepare young people to participate in a democratic society, and work with others to change the world." Do we really do all of that? Yes, we do. Even if outsiders think that our summers off jobs are just about distributing Jeopardy-like facts that we call curriculum content. In each of our classes here at TCNJ Global, students and instructors are challenged to reflect about and articulate who they are as teachers and who they are as learners and how we bring the enormity of the world and the infinite variety of math, science, PE, art, literature, language, history, and human development into our small square classrooms. At some point in their career, every teacher thinks about why they became a teacher and how it helps us make a life. As some of you may already know, teaching is my third career, after years in the film biz and as a corporate chef. And much to my surprise, I found teaching satisfied my creative spirit in ways that the other, more seemingly artistic endeavors never could. I think somehow I was destined to travel and meet as many people as possible who are different and interact closely with them in ways that leave us all better off than before we met. And teaching does that for me on a daily, class-by-class basis, especially in this global program. In all of this seriousness about the nature and purpose of teaching and learning, I forgot to mention how much fun I had this year. Yes, getting up at 4:30 a.m. to grade papers and revise my PowerPoint didn't always feel like fun. But once class was underway, and I got to explore educational issues with my 14 new edu friends, the work kind of dissolved into a shared, excited discussion that enhanced my own understanding of my own coursework. I once heard on a television show, I think it was Modern Family, that the real purpose of a commencement speech is to tell everybody, don't stop believing, and let's get this party started. And so I guess I want those words to be heard today too. And I want to extend those exciting thoughts just a bit further for today. Those of you who are here today have either started or are completing an important and difficult personal and professional milestone. And if you are anything like me, you don't often pause and allow yourself the luxury of celebrating yourself enough. Pride, we are often told, goes before a fall. But maybe what is commencing today is the beginning of allowing yourself to feel and own a sense of pride in yourself. Not a boastful pride, but a bright, inner light kind of pride nonetheless. The universe will not think it immodest of you to praise yourself a little today. And if you are too shy to do that, then look into the eyes of your friends and family and loved ones to see the pride that they feel for you. And believe that it's okay to share in that glow. You actually have earned it, or so the College of New Jersey thinks. And so keep thinking about what you believe, keep thinking about what your work stands for, and although only some of you will recognize what I'm about to say to everyone, I know that the rest of you will understand the spirit of boundary pushing and outrageousness it is meant to encourage. Keep it lavender. Thank you.
3 of your fellow graduates and certificate recipients have prepared remarks for our ceremony. From the Administration and Leadership Program, please welcome Lydia Akaturo Sect.
Welcome. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Lydia Okuturo Sek, and I just wanted to share with you all today a few words about what it means to be a leader and showing up for our kids. A few summers ago, I met Dr. Donald Leake at the Principals Training Center in Miami. It was at a table meant to attract would-be leaders to bank their credits from that program to the TCNJ Masters in Educational Leadership program. And I was there for the free stuff. I mean, who doesn't love free stuff at conferences? And so as I grabbed my free stuff to put in my conference bag, he explained how I could bank my credits and finish my master's program in 2 years. More importantly, he talked about the dedicated faculty, the prestige of the program, the international locations. He beamed about the awesome traditions in Bangkok and Mallorca. He might have even said something like, they really know how to party at the Mallorca graduations. Well, he had me at party, and a year and a half later, I was planning for my family to move to Bangkok for our 6-week residency in the program. And then the coronavirus hit. And so I have spent 2 years of my TCNJ journey in Ballorca on Zoom. Many of you might be in that same situation. I tell this story because sometimes in life, we never know where we might end up. Life is messy that way, much like being an apprentice and training at the potter's wheel. But leadership gives us this opportunity to try to make sense of it all, to make sense of this beautiful mess. And so as graduates, we're not here celebrating, we're not here partying today the way that I envisioned it when I met Dr. Lee. Nonetheless, we're here celebrating the fact that we were able to finish, the fact that we can be here. And for many of us, that was against many odds. More importantly, we're here to celebrate the fact that we can carry new tools that we've developed in this great program, new tools that can help us to help others, that can help us to guide others through this beautiful mess that is schooling and learning and living. And many of those people are doing it at great odds, against great odds. And this real stuff, this beautiful stuff that we've gained, it's worth having. So what do we do with it? What do we do with this real stuff, this world-class education, these essential tools, this amazing network of academic siblings? Thank you, Dr. Tabitha, for that great phrase that stuck with me. What do we do with all of that? Our understanding of and appreciation for what true leadership really means. Well, we take all this stuff in and we show up. We use it to show up in the best, boldest ways for our kids, all of our kids. We use it to show up for their parents, for teachers, for our colleagues, for their families, for ourselves, for one another. And so my message is this: let's show up with our fullest, best, boldest selves. Let's show up like we don't know what the future will hold. Show up like we don't know where we might end up. So my fellow graduates, I congratulate you for being here today, for showing up. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and so thank you. Thank you. And I wish us luck as we step out into this big, crazy, messy, beautiful world to help take the lead from wherever we are, wherever we will be. And Dr. Leek, maybe one day I'll make it to Mallorca for that party. Time will tell, we'll see. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.
Speaking on behalf of the teaching program, please welcome Hannah Takahashi.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the faculty of TCNJ, the Ballorca graduates, and to everyone's family and friends. My name is Hannah, and I am part of the elementary education teaching program. When I started TCNJ's offsite graduate program in 2019 at Bangkok, I was very worried, excited, and worried. I was worried about visiting another country by myself for a graduate school I've never seen or attended before. Would I even get to my hotel or nest on my own? What if I get lost? And I was worried about making friends too. Will my classmates and professors be nice? If they're not, would I survive 6 weeks on my own? And yes, I worry about many things compared to other people maybe. But even for a person like me, after the first day, I knew I was in the right place to become a better teacher. For last year and this year, our program changed to Ballorca. Although I didn't have to go to another country this time, I remember feeling again worried for this new program. Do Zoom classes really work? What if my internet dies? Would I be able to ask all the questions I got to like in Bangkok? Again, I worry a lot. But with the thorough planning and teamwork of the TCNJ faculty and staff, Ballorca has been just as successful for me. The virtual classrooms have still been effective in helping me become a better teacher. So thank you, TCNJ, for your time, flexibility, and effort in finding ways for us to continue improving as educators in the midst of this pandemic. And although I miss spending time with my group mates after school for our projects and getting many foot massages at Cha-Cha, I am grateful for meeting classmates from all over the world in Ballorca, especially those who I may not have met if our regular summer programs continued. They say that every cloud has a silver lining, and it almost felt like the disastrous and devastating pandemic actually brought many of us together from all over the globe. Thank you, classmates, for your time outside of Zoom and for constantly calculating the various time zones. My time in Ballorca has taught me that we are still able to learn, grow, connect, and support each other even when we're many miles apart. Finally, as a reminder for us all as we embark upon our new teaching journeys for the upcoming school year, I'd like to share a quote from a volleyball anime, Haikyuu, that I've been binge watching on Netflix during this pandemic. As the students are shedding tears from their defeat, their volleyball coach tells them with a smile, "Being weak means that there is room to grow, and there's nothing more exciting than this." Although we are not volleyball players, being a teacher is equally challenging and or time-consuming. It gets very stressful and frustrating at times. If we are ever feeling weak or that we could have done better, which I felt many times as a novice teacher, I hope we can remind ourselves how capable and hardworking we are as we achieve our master's degree today. Thank you.
From the ESL program, please welcome Elise Radcliffe.
Hello, fellow graduates, professors, family members, and friends. I want to say a huge congratulations to all graduates. We did it! We finished our certificate or graduate courses online while teaching during a pandemic. Now that is a reason to feel very proud and celebrate. During our time at TCNJ, we all drew from our experiences, whether in Mallorca, Bangkok, or online and throughout the world. And let's remember, different time zones. During my summers in Mallorca and online, I built long-lasting relationships with my classmates who have now turned into my friends and professors. As teachers, we know our content is important, but what our students will remember even more is the relationships we build with them. So as I reflect back at my time at TCNJ, I think about what my professors taught me. Dr. Fols taught me all the grammar rules and the importance of vocabulary. He also showed me the best tapas restaurants in Mallorca. Dr. Latanzi taught me how to write daily achievable objectives, but he also consistently shared his amazing sense of humor and his thoughtful compassion. Dr. Lopes Murphy helped me better understand simultaneous bilingual students and showed me extreme compassion as I faced 2 family deaths while in her class. Professor Kasich taught me the importance of read-alouds along with his favorites, which I still use in my class today. And we also got to swap dog stories, and he told me the best place to find gelato in Mallorca. And it truly is. Dr. Conley taught me the importance of true service learning, which I took back to my school. And she shared sweet and hilarious stories of her children, as well as gave us keychains on the last day of class with our favorite teacher quotes, and I still have mine today. Dr. Wu taught me why teaching tongue placement is important when teaching students English sounds, and he showed us his amazing high jumping skills. You should ask him about them. Professor Kapp showed us tech devices and software for young learners. And in the basement of Bellevue College, he shared his VR headset with me so I could show him what Senegal looks like in 3D. Dr. Burrows showed me how to apply research in my teaching and in my daily classroom, and she was also a thoughtful listener as I shared about my students. Dr. Anthony taught me the importance of all students belong. And we got to reminisce about our favorite Mallorcan memories. So whether your time is continuing with TCNJ or ending, remember, you're making a difference in the lives of our English language learners. While our students will retain what we teach them while learning a new language in a new environment, they will always remember the relationships we built with them, how we made them feel, and the memories made. because as I leave TCNJ, that's what I will be taking with me. Thank you.
To celebrate the second year of the Ballorca program, we held a baking competition. You are about to see the finalists as they compete in the penultimate challenge. And now, the granting of degrees and certificates.
I am Dr. Donald Leake, and as a professor in educational administration at the College of New Jersey, it is both my honor and pleasure to read the names of the students who have completed their work in our master's and postmaster's program in educational administration and leadership. First, students who have completed the requirements for a master's degree in educational administration and leadership are Amy Aguilada, Michael Aguilada, David Allenson, Matthew DeWolf, Nicholas Harris, Heather Lieberman, Serena McMurn, Lydia Okaturo Sek, and Janice Van Haldren. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of a master's degree in educational administration and leadership. And now for the students completing the requirements for our postmaster's program. Julie Allison and William Rago. Please join me in congratulating these students who completed the requirements of our postmaster's program in educational administration and leadership.
Hello, my name is Dr. Brenda Leak, and I am a professor in the School of Education at the College of New Jersey. It is my honor to announce the names of the candidates for the Masters of Education in Elementary Teaching, the Masters of Education in Secondary Teaching, and the Certificate in Secondary Teaching programs. I will begin with the candidates who are earning the Masters of Education in Elementary Teaching. Haruka Akashi. Rawan Alistath. Samia Amin. Nora Bailey. Tungalakatuya Basuk. Anastasia Bola. Justin Chan. Rhoda Eileen Coffey. Anna Dem. Maxwell Ebert. Elizabeth Henson. Annika Jones. Alice O'Halloran. Michelle Pablelik. Jose Hier Pardelas. Sulin Patterson. Helly Pajabi. Hannah Takahashi. Landon Thurber Dean. And Caitlin Winter. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Masters of Education in Elementary Teaching. I will now read the names of the candidates who are earning the Masters of Education in Secondary Teaching. Jason Ryan Benards. Lisa Chesters.
Wiley Jackson.
Shrivani Sullivan-John. And Jared Wall. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Masters of Education in Secondary Teaching. And now the recipients of the Certificate for secondary teaching candidates are Kayla Harden, Telia Mueller. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Certificate in Secondary Teaching.
Good morning. This is Megan Gordon, Assistant Director of Off-Site Graduate Programs. I am honored to read the names of candidates for both the Master's in Education and the Certificate for Teaching English as a Second Language. Students enrolled in this program hail from a wide variety of backgrounds and locations, from various New Jersey school districts to classrooms all around the world. The common thread among our degree and certificate recipients is their commitment to their school's diverse communities and their drive to support English language learners and their families. The following individuals now have a practical and theoretical understanding of the unique TESOL profession and have the tools needed to effectively reach English language learners at all points on the globe. Earning a master's in teaching English as a second language are Leah Callow, Tanya Campbell, Nirka Corrado, Krista Diaz Gargano, Stephanie Dixon, Margaret Dos Santos, Nichelle Douglas, Courtney Drew, Todd Ferguson, Megan Fisher, Justine Kent, Christina Mara, Melissa Montoya, Sylvester Morgan, Catherine Oriana, Nikia A. Peterson Johnson, Elise Radcliffe, Robert Rogati, Michelle Ann Storer, Claudia Torres, Sarah Turner, Michael Vieira.
Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Masters in Education in Teaching English as a Second Language.
Earning a certificate in teaching English as a second language are Shella Cesar, Alexa Eisenberg, Ayman Emil Nassif, Melissa Jackson, Whitney King,
Yay, Whit!
Allison Lau Tyson, Vanessa Martin,
Madeline Magley,
Erica May, Lisa M. McLaughlin, Hala Morkos, Shelly-Ann O'Mealy, Alicia Ons, Rania Saad.
Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Certificate in Teaching English as a Second Language.
Yay!
And now, live from Ballorca, here is Dr. Carroll to confer the degrees.
I wasn't sure I could unmute myself. So that's that. The second annual Ballorca graduation is drawing to a close. But first, we have some thank yous and some announcements, and then the magic moment when you are transformed into a graduate, followed by the recessional where the graduates get to leave ceremoniously. So let me start by thanking the folks at Offsite Graduate Programs, Megan Gordon, Elizabeth Sims-Pottle, and Olivia Sullivan, who made this summer and made this graduation happen. Don't ignore their upcoming emails, graduates, pay attention, because there's going to be more information coming about diplomas and college processes. So don't just hit delete, pay attention to Megan, Elizabeth, and Olivia in future messages. All right, and we're getting closer to the magic after the most prosaic thing in the world. I'm not actually sure when you officially become a master's holder or a certificate holder. My guess is that officially it's when it's posted on your transcripts, like the same way at a wedding, you're really married when it gets to the court, the documents. But we have the ceremony to mark that transformation that's happening sometime soon. So I'm going to say the magic words in a moment. But first, a word about the recessional, okay? In Mallorca, way back at the dawn of the 21st century, we had a student who was a professional bagpiper. And for 3 years running, he piped our graduates out. And to this day, we use bagpipes, and the song Scotland the Brave is our recessional song. So to know that it wasn't randomly chosen. Since we are a virtual program like right now, there's nowhere really for you to march to. So I encourage you though to, in the comfort of your own home, stand up and rise up and march around the room as Scotland the Brave is playing. And the rest of us will stay seated so as not to crowd you while you're marching around your virtual space. When the song is over, the ceremony will be over, and Ballorca is going to vanish into the mist, okay? So if you've got last minute chats, now's the time, okay? Because when the song is over, everything's over. Now, I'm about to make the big announcement. So Megan, I'm thinking to unmute everybody because we could have some random cheering for the next part. So it would be nice if we could all hear it. It's going to sound chaotic, and then we can remute when it's time for the recessional, all right? So, ready? I'm waiting for the unmuting. Or people have to unmute themselves, okay?
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Hold it for a second. And so, again.
Stuart, you gotta unmute. Hold on.
Stuart, you gotta unmute.
We gotta unmute Stuart.
Right, here I am being theatrical. It's like a silent movie.
Awesome.
All right, and so by the power vested in me by the College of New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, and the spirits of Mallorca, Bangkok, Ewing, Taiwan, Cairo, and Vietnam, I now pronounce you graduates.
Vamos, amigos!
Way to go, Elise!
I did it. Yay!
Congratulations, Sylvester Morgan.
Congratulations, Colorado. Congrats for the family, Sierra.
The recessional should be coming.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Granny.
All right.
Thank you, Uncle Butchie and Marcy.
Margaret, congratulations. We love you, Margaret.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Congratulations, Michelle.
Yay, there's a redhead!
Congratulations, Rhoda.
You did it, Sly.
You did it, Katia.